Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so yesterday we have seen, today we'll again start with continuing with our pandas data frame. So yesterday we have seen how do we create a data frame from all the different kinds of lists and dictionaries and series and all that. Now we'll see how do we modify that. So can you all see the screen? Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
yesterday we have seen
Yes.
yesterday we have seen how to create a data frame. Now we'll see the rest of the things. Okay. So df.index. Now there was someone yesterday who asked whether we can change the index of a data frame or not. Okay, so we can change the index of a data frame by the df.index command. Okay, so df.index is actually what it does is that it prints the index. Okay, if we just write df.index print, what it will do? It will print the index. Okay, but now what we are going to do is that we want to change the index. So what we will do, we will assign it to the values that we want. So this is a list, that is the list of indexes of our data frame. So we'll assign this df.index equal to this list, and we can see the index will get changed. Now if you want to change it again, you can write like this, something like this. I want it to be A and B. Okay, so your values will become A and B over here. This is how index can be changed. Okay, now accessing the values in a data frame. Accessing the values in a data frame. So when you have to access the values, we will write something like this. This is a data frame name, and these are two brackets over here, and we'll write the name of the column that we want to access. So by doing this, we'll get a data frame. Okay. Now let me show you one more thing. If we write only one bracket, okay, then we'll get a series over here. What we are getting over here is a series. If you write one bracket, you will get a data frame series, and if you write two brackets, you will get a data frame. Okay, so you can just switch between data frames and series by using the difference of a bracket over here. Okay, now if you want to access two columns, then you can write the names of both the columns inside this. Okay, so you will be able to access two columns over here. Now similarly here also, if you write like this, so you will not get any value over here, because in series we can get only one value. Okay, one row. So this is not being identified as a series. Okay, in series only one value is applicable, so that is why it is not being accessed. Now you can also access the row. If you want to access a row, then you can use a df.log command, which will help you access the row. Now this is the index number over here, or index name, and you can write it inside this and you will get the whole row. Okay. If you want to access a specified value, so this is the name of the column that you want to access, so grapes, and if you want to access for person B, then you write person B in the next bracket. So it is just like using a numpy array. क्या हुआ? Person B. अच्छा. Okay. Does anyone have any doubt in this? No, it is not necessary. ilock, if you want to access the row using the index number, then you can do ilock. Does anyone have any doubt till here?
No, sir.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
to access a particular column, can we write first column name, then a row name, instead of writing first column name, then row name?
No.
Okay.
Okay, now how do we add values in like a new column? If you want to add a new column to a data frame, we can add it like this. So this is the new column, con column that you want to add, and these are the values. Okay, so you write df con equal to 57. So this will be a value, a con column will be added over here, and the values over here will be added like columns over here. Okay. Now if you want to add something like df con ho gaya like mango, okay, and you can write 5 over here. Okay, so now what will happen? If you print it, mango column is added over here. You can see we have given only one value, so what will happen? It will do something called as broadcasting over here also, and 5 will be added in both the rows over here. Okay, so this is how we can add new values to a df is the name of a data frame. Df is the name of the variable of data frame. See, okay. Now we can also create new columns. Okay, so not a number is also possible. You can write it like this. Okay, you cannot specify, you cannot leave it empty, you need to fill some value, and if you want to enter it as empty, then you have to write nan over there. Okay,
And sir, for NaN, it is required to write NP.
yeah,
It is compulsory.
yeah,
Okay.
because not is like not, nan stands for not a number. Okay, so you cannot specify anything that is a number for writing nan. Okay, so numpy has an inbuilt function for specifying a nan value, and you can identify also with using nan only over here. अरे यार क्या बोले अब हम इसका, लो देख लो what will happen. Same thing. No, you cannot leave blank values. So this nan capital and small, this is a syntax na. I cannot help in this na. What if you try it and write it? Yeah, you can write anything. You can write like this. See. See.
Now, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when we yesterday created that panda series, if we didn't give their value for any index, so it was automatically taking a NaN value over there.
Yeah.
While in data frame, we have to specify it. So do we have to specify it all the time? That if we want their NaN value?
Yeah, you have to specify over here.
Okay, sir.
Now, if you want to create a new column using the existing columns, then you can create something like this. So, if you want to create a column known as veggies over here, okay, and you want to create it using tomato plus corn, you want that the value of veggies should be tomato value plus corn value. So, you can directly add them over here, tomato df dot tomato and df corn will equal to df veggies. Okay, so you will get this value over here. Df tomato plus corn will give you this value over here. Okay, now if we want to add a new row to our data frame, if we want to add a new row to a data frame, so what we will do? First of all, we create a new data frame over here, that is, this is our dictionary or the row value that we are defining for the data frame. Now if you want to add it, we are creating a data frame over here named %c, okay, and we are printing it over here. So this is your new data frame. Okay, now we'll append it over here. You can see that a new %c has been appended over here at the down below over here. Now over here only apple, banana, corn and orange was there. Apple, banana, orange and corn. The tomato, grapes, mango, veggies were not there. So all the values have been assigned nan by default because these values were not present. Okay, so if values are not present like this in two data frames, so it will be assigned as nan. Okay, so now over here what we are doing, we are writing the elements or accessing the elements in by data frames. Now what do we are adding the elements at the last of the list. Sorry, list, data frame. What do we do if we want to add at any location we want? So that can be done using the insert command. Okay, so df.insert, this is the command, and what is the command? First of all is the position where we want to add. Okay, position, index position of the column. Now this is the name of the column that we want to add, and these are the values. Okay, now this can also be written if we want all the places the value should be same. So by doing this, you can see at fifth position, first of all, ginger was added 7, 11, 15, 13, and then after that at fifth position only, potato was added with 7, 7 and 7 over here. Okay? Does anyone have any doubt in this?
No.
No, sir.
Sir, it add columns after specified position, no?
Yeah. Now we are going to delete the rows and columns. Okay, so there are two methods, pop and drop. Okay, so what does pop do? df.pop ginger. So this will remove the column. So when we do like this, what will happen? Your ginger column is dropped. So ginger column was present over here, and it is not present over here now. Okay, so df.pop ginger removes the columns. Okay, pop method will only allow us to delete the columns, while drop method will allow us to delete both rows and columns by accessing the key access keyword. Okay, so pop method will only delete the columns. Column deletion only. Okay, now if we want to delete the multiple columns over here, so we have drop function also. So if you want to remove the grapes and orange column, then you can write something like this. So grapes and orange is specified over here as the column names in the list, and we are writing axis equal to 1. When we write axis equal to 1, we are telling it to be column. Okay, so when we write this, the grapes and orange columns have also been dropped. So grapes and orange row have been dropped, column have been dropped. Okay, now if you want to remove rows, so if you want to remove person B and C, so what you are going to do, we will write the index names of both the rows inside the list, and we will write axis equal to 0. So what it will do, it will understand that these are for the axis or the rows, and it will remove the rows. Now these are outplace. Okay, if you want to do it in place, then also there is an option, I think so. Yeah, in place. You can write in place also. This is, if you don't write, it is outplace in default, but if you write in place equal to true, it will be in place. Okay, now if you want to rename your columns, so you can write something like this, df equal to df.rename. This is the rename function, and if you specify over here columns, and then specify the dictionary over here. No, you cannot remove both row and column simultaneously, I think so. No, you cannot remove that. Why do you want to remove both simultaneously? Because it is broadcasting. If we are see, I told you, if the dimension of the value that you are giving, if one of them is 1, then it will broadcast. But now what was happening over here, when we added this, where was person C? When we added this had 4 values, and our data frame over here had 8 values. So it cannot broadcast 4 into 8 over here. That is why it took the 9 values over there. Okay, understood? Now, if you want to rename the columns, you want to change the banana to pineapple. So you have to assign it like a dictionary over here. Okay. So columns equal to banana colon pineapple. So banana column over here will be renamed as pineapple over here. And we are doing this with the name use of df.rename command. Okay. So when we write in this so no problem na. Banana will be named as pineapple. If there is pineapple, then no problem. You will have an error. Don't think so. It will be like that. Uh, Tomato.
Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
can we rename any row as well by writing index is equal to row name and the new name which we want to assign to it?
See, I've told you over here. You can do that.
Okay, sir.
See, see over here like this. See, two values have been given name apple. Okay, fine. Now after that, if you have to uh, access it, you think how you will access it. I don't know. So both the values will be returned over here like this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we can also rename the index also using the df.rename command. So you specify the index that was earlier there and you specify the index over here. So A was there. So we are renaming it to person A. Okay. So it has been changed to person name. Okay. Now if we want okay, you cannot access, that is why you have to write, you cannot, if both the columns have the same name, then how you will access, how you will know that which column I have to access. That is why all the columns should have different names. None of index are in common. What is the meaning of this? Yeah, someone told that if we have two values that are same, that is why I showed him how to do that. That is why I renamed it to apple. I don't know why this is not working over here. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. Wait. PCLE. Con. Okay, so now con will be identified as the index over here. Okay. So con value was over here. Now if you want to make sum of the column that is present as a data as your index, sometimes what you will get serial number as your column name. So what you can do, either you can drop it or you can set it as your index over here. So you can use this command to set the index. Okay, is it okay? Any doubt in this till now? See, there is nothing to be explained in this till now. Whatever we have done. Now, what we will learn now, that is explanation part. Okay, so this data frame or this the
Sir,
Python
please
notebook
repeat
has
again
been
that part.
what?
That you told Anna just now that corn set to index, that part.
Yeah, this part. If you want to set the column as the index of your uh, Excel sheet, then you can use this as the command df.setIndex. This will set your column as the index. If earlier we were renaming A, person B, person C as the index. If you want some column only as your index, then you can set it as index. Okay. Sometimes what happens is that when you load an Excel sheet, all your like employee numbers or your invoice numbers or bill number, date or serial number, these come as columns. So you will have to change them to index. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
now we'll move on to the next data frame. So now we are starting with the basics of data cleaning, and this is a very important part as far as machine learning is concerned. If you will not understand this part, it is very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to move on with machine learning. Okay, so understand this part. Okay, just a second. Okay, now um, so this is a data frame over here, and you can see over here that we have made a data frame over here. This is, for example, understand that this is your Excel sheet that we are getting, and you have to work upon this data, and you have to make a machine learning algorithm to like predict some values. Okay. Now this is the data frame, and usually you will get only this type of data frame where you will have a lot of nan values. So nan values is considered as a bad value because it is an empty value. You don't have a data set over there. You can understand that uh, when the data was being made or data was being collected, that data was not found in the data set, and that is why it is having a nan value over here. So you will have to remove it because machine learning will not be able to use the nan value, and it will give an error in the machine learning algorithm. Okay, so how will you, first of all we will have to identify whether nan values are present in our data set or not. Okay, so this was a very small data set, that is why you were able to identify that by seeing that nan values are present. But for example, if your data set contains 1 million rows and 100 columns, then you will not be able to see. Okay, so in that case, what you will have to do, you will have to use some commands. Okay, so if you want to calculate, if you want to see whether nan values are present or not present, then the command is null. Okay, so is null will give a true and false statement whether at each cell in the Excel sheet that value is null or not null. Okay, so when you run this, you will see all the places where nan values are present, it is returning true. Okay, so true has been returned over here. This means the values are nan over here. Okay, now if we can use, see how to remember these commands, that is not a question now, you will have to practice. And you cannot remember all these commands. Yeah, okay. How will we search the true in 1 million? It's the same thing. Yeah, I know it's the same thing. So this is useless. This command is almost useless. But it becomes useful when you use the sum command over here. So when we write the sum command, what it does, this sum command will give you the sum of all the nan values in all the columns. So you can see in bikes there are 0 nan values, in pants there are 0 values, in shirts there are 1 nan value, in glasses there are 1, in suits there are 1. Okay, so using the sum command over here, additionally we can sum over all the values over here, and that will give you the number of nan values in our each column. Okay, so this is useful. Okay, Karan, this will solve your doubt whether in 1 million values how we will search for the nan values. Okay, now even if you don't want, even if there are 100 or 200 rows, how will you see whether if there is any row that has any nan value? Okay, so what you can do, you can add another sum over here. So now what it will do, it will find out the sum of nan values in all the columns over here. Now it will return 3. So 3 values are present in the whole data set that are nan values. Can we get the location of nan values? No, I don't think so. There might be a command, but I don't know that. You'll have to Google it out.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is the dot sum taking the values from true, false? Is that taking that or
Your
from
voice is
directly?
not audible. I'm sorry, your voice is not audible.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, that dot sum that command, is it taking the values from true, false one, or is it directly taking from that the data that we give? Like,
See what it is doing now. When I'm writing is null over here, it is returning true, false, true, false, true, false. When we do sum, so sum is operated on integers. So what it will do, it will do a downcasting, upcasting. So false will be interpreted as 0 and true will be interpreted as 1. So now what it will do column wise summation. So pants will return 0, all the values of pants will return, bikes will return 0, pants will return 0, glasses will return 1, because there is one true value over here. Okay.
yes.
So you can do this if you want to do only for one column. Okay. Let me see over here. So store 1. So see, by using this command, we have returned store 1 has index or store 1 has the nan value over here in glasses. Okay. So if you can run a for loop over here, if you can run a loop for column pandas dot columns like this. So you can see each where the values has been printed over here, where the value is present. Okay, so that is not necessary because this is useless only, because when we have to ultimately we want to remove the values. Okay, so we'll see how to remove values and you will see it is not necessary. So using this command you will see all the summation of all the values present inside our data frame has been given. Now what you can do with this, you can see if this returns 0 over here, that means our data is clean. So you will not have to perform any kind of data cleaning at least. Okay. Now if we want to calculate all the non-nan values in a columns of a data frame, so what it will do, we can use the count function. So what does count function do? Count function will give you the count of all the non-nan values inside the columns of a data frame. So you can see there are 3 non-values, then you have 2. So you can understand that there is one nan value over here. Now if you have 2 over here, 2 over here, so there are one nan values over here. Okay. So this is also not necessary that much. Okay, now we will start with data cleaning. So if we want to remove all the rows that have nan values, okay, so we can use this command. So store items dot drop na. Na stands for null values over. Okay, so drop null. Okay, axis equal to 0. So when we write axis equal to 0, all the rows that have null values will be removed. So now we have only one row over here. Okay. Now if we want to remove all the columns that have the null value, so we will remove using axis dot axis equal to 1. So all the columns that will have null values will be removed. Okay.
Sir, but in this case, we are losing our data now.
That, see, in this case we are losing data, but now only we are understanding, we are only learning the commands how to remove it. Your data set will contain like 1 million rows. Okay, 10,000 rows. Now if one row has a nan value, instead of performing data cleaning, you can just remove that row. How will it affect? Here you have 3 rows, but in general you will have 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh rows. So there it will not create a problem. Okay, but you can surely not remove a column, because if in a column like there are 10,000 values and you have more than 5,000 values that are null, so in that case only you can remove a column. Even if there are 1,000 values as null, then also you cannot remove that. You will have to perform some kind of data engineering over there. Okay. Now, so drop now is okay. Now we have a same command known as fill now. So what it will do, it will replace all the nan values with 0 or any value that we put inside this. Okay. So over here you can see this value and this value has been replaced with 0. Okay, so by doing this you are not losing information, but by doing this what you are doing, you are giving wrong data inside. Yeah, but if you are not losing information, then also you are not gaining information, rather you are giving a noise value over here. That is you are providing wrong data inside the machine learning algorithm, and now what will happen? It will give wrong results. Your accuracy will decrease. Okay, so now only 3 values are there, so no problem. But if there are a lot of values that are nan and you do something like this, that fill na equal to 0, that will be very wrong. Okay, so now what we are going to do? Now we have the ffill command. So over here, what we did, we replaced all the values with 0. What is the advantage of fill na? Okay, so there are many commands in fill na. There are many parameters, methods over here. We will see that, and then you will see how fill na is useful. Okay, so what does fill na do? Now fill na fillna method equal to ffill. So ffill stands for forward fill. So what it will do, for example, if you have shirt column over here, now this value over here was nan. So what it will do, it will replace this nan value with the last known value over here. Okay, so this nan value is replaced by last non-nan value. Okay, so 2.0 is replaced with 2.0 over here. Okay, now over here this nan value is replaced with 7 because last known value was 7. Now over here, since it was only the first value, this value is returned nan because fillna does not find any value that is present before it. That is why the nan value is returned left as nan. Okay, so this is somewhat better than filling 0 because at least we are getting some kind of useful information like 2 over here or 7 over here. Does anyone understand what is the use of fillna?
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Yeah.
सर जो रिप्लेसमेंट हो रहा है वो कॉलम वाइज हो रहा है. अगर हम एक्सेस 1 कर देंगे तो रो वाइज ही होगा या ये मतलब ऐसे फिक्स्ड ही है कॉलम वाइज ही होगा रिप्लेसमेंट जो हो रहा है बेसिकली.
So generally what you do, you have to, when you are doing so generally what happens is that you can assign any value over here for 0 for index and 1 for columns. Okay, but what is the problem now? That when you do feature engineering or data cleaning, you have to assign values along the columns only. Like for theory purposes, yes, we can replace the nan values with mean value. Okay, we can replace it with anything we want. Okay, so what happens in theoretically, you can say that we want to assign that we want to fill the row values, we want to fill the row values, but what happens is that generally the columns are the values through which the values are filled because the columns, the values in columns are the values that hold some kind of resemblance or some kind of pattern. Row values will not hold any kind of pattern because you can see that if this is the store 1, store 2, store 3. Okay, so these are the products that it keeps. Now this is the value, or if you can see, this is the amount of things that it sells. So store 1 sells 8 shoes, store 2 sells 5, store 3 sells 10. Now 8, 5 and 10, these are the values of these are the things that shoes will be stored over here, or the use of store or the sales of shoes. So these contain a pattern, but the sale of shirts and the sale of shoes don't hold any kind of pattern. Or you cannot say that if 35 watches are being sold, then 35 suits will be sold. This does not hold any sense. But you can say that if store 1, if in an area there are 10 stores and store 1 sells 45 suits, then store 2 will also sell somewhat that many kinds of suits also, because there might be some kind of like marriage or any function. So suits are being sold in that area. Okay. The F will only fills the value with the previous one. Okay. So all the previous value, previous non-nan value will be filled over here. Okay. Now if we want to fill the values along the rows, so that can also be done. You can see the previous values are filled over here. So 45 was replaced over here with 45, 35 was replaced over here, and 10 was replaced over here. Okay, Sakshi, were you the one who asked whether we wanted to fill it in rows? Okay.
Okay, sir.
So you can do this is just useless because it does not mean anything. Okay, this does not have any sense. You will use this only every time. Now,
Sir,
yeah,
when we write nan, does it mean we don't know that value?
Yeah,
Or
we
the
don't know that
values?
value. Exactly, we don't know that value. If you try to
Okay,
print that value, you will not get anything. See.
okay.
See, nan, you are not getting anything. Okay, you cannot print this value. Okay. Fillna is used to fill the nan values. See, over here what we did, we use dropna. So what it will do, if we write access equal to 0, all the rows that have nan values will be dropped. If we write access equal to 1, all the values that have, all the columns that have nan values will be removed. So what happens is that when you are dropping columns, you are losing information, or you are losing information. And if you have a small data set and the rows are valuable enough, you cannot afford to lose information because you have a very small limited amount of data. So in that case, you have to fill those values with some kind of values, okay, meaningful values or values that have some kind of meaning. So we are using fillna command to fill the nan values with some kind of commands, okay. So over here we are filling all the values with 0. If we want, we can fill all the values with 10. So 10 will be filled in all the nan values, okay. But this is also not a good way because it is adding noise or unnecessary or unwanted data, because 0 is not a value. If a store at some location is selling 15 shirts and store 2 is selling 2 shirts, then it is not possible that store 3 will sell only 0 shirts. Or if store 2 is selling 50 sunglasses, then store 1 will sell 0 sunglasses. So there will be some kind of information that is always present. So you cannot just fill any value. Now forward fill is another value, another kind of method where the where the value of nan will be filled with the previous value, okay. So this is the value that will be filled with the previous value. So 2 was present over here in the earlier row, so that will be filled over here. I will have to try. I don't think so that it will work. No, I don't think so it will work. If you want to fill it with some other values, then what you will have to do? Who told that meaning of nan and 0 is same? I did not tell that. Nan means empty and 0 is the value. 0 does not mean empty. See over here in Excel sheet, if we open an Excel sheet over here, so this is an empty column. Now if I write 0 over here and leave this empty and then write 0 over here, okay. So we are writing, leaving this empty, we are writing 0 over here, this empty, writing 0. So this value will hold nan and this value will hold 0. So these two are different things. You cannot confuse them. Nan means not a number. It is not a number. 0 is a number. Okay. Now we have seen forward fill. Now as forward fill, we have back fill. So since forward fill was using the values that were present before the nan values, forward fill will use the values that are present after them. So since you can see this nan and this nan are present, not filled because there are no values after it. But this value over here is filled because it has value 50 before it. Okay. Understood how backfill is filling the commands?
Yes, sir.
Now same is with access.
Sir, could you repeat?
Yeah.
Sir, can you repeat?
backfill is filling the values that are present after it. So there is no more rows after it. So since there are no more values, backfill will not be able to fill any NaN values over here. But over here NaN value is filled. We can no, you cannot use multiple methods at a time. So over here backfill can fill NaN values over here because there was a row after it that was not NaN, and that is why I filled a value over here. Okay, just the value after it will be filled. Now same is with the row, access equal to 1, so the value after it will be filled. Now over here this method is the linear method. Okay, so this is the most important method that we will use the most of the times. Okay, so what it does. So for example, you have row values like this over here. This is a data set and this is for example a row. Okay, this is a column over here. The column name is ABC. Now there are many rows over here. Okay, so values over in the rows are 1, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as you have seen that we have 3 ways till now that you have seen. One way is to remove the value over here, that is directly deleting it. One way is filling 0 or any kind of arbitrary value that you want. Okay, is everyone listening? This is the important thing.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So even you can add 0 over here or some kind of any arbitrary value. What you can do, you can use ffill. So in ffill, if you use ffill, you will use 2 will be printed over here. Okay. If you use backfill, 3 will be printed. Now if you use some any commands and you write the mean command, fill it with mean value. So what will be the mean? So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 6, 18 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am sorry, backfill will give 4. 18 divided by 5. So if we fill it with mean, you will get 3.6. But all these are okay, fine. But if you can see the row by its own, it is following a pattern like 1, 2, 3. If we put 3 over here, it will form a line over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So something as series is being formed or it is showing a pattern. Okay. So it will be most beneficial if we found out a way that will give us a value that follows a pattern that is present in the data. Is it okay? Is everyone understanding it? Why do we
Yes,
need
sir.
why do we need
Yes,
a
sir.
pattern, and why do we need the 9 value with a pattern?
Yes,
So what now we will use the method equal to linear. Okay, what does this does is that it will first of all in memory itself, it will arey yaar, say again. So over here when we जब सारा हटा देते हैं ना तब इसको see, listen again, I am saying it for the last time, this part. Okay. Now over here when we fill it with fill now, we are writing 0 over here. Okay. If we fill it with ffill, we are writing substituting it with 2. If we are filling it with backfill, we are substituting with 4. If we are filling it with mean, then we are writing 3.6. Okay, mean of all these values are 3.6. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 divided by 5. Okay, so this will give 3.6. Okay, so these values will work, not a problem. But if you see the values manually, or on your own if you see the values, you can see that these are following some kind of pattern, like 1 2. If 3 would have been present over here, then 1 2 3 4 5 6, this is following some kind of pattern. Okay, so we need to find some kind of way such that our values are substituted such that it follows the pattern in the column. Okay, so that method in which we can replace the NaN values with the pattern that the column is following, that method is known as linear method. Okay, so what it will do, first of all, it will plot all the non-NaN values. So if we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 1 will be plotted, 2 will be plotted, 4 will be plotted, 5 will be plotted, 6 will be plotted. Now after plotting this, it will fit a regression line, y equal to mx plus c. Y equal to mx plus c will be plotted. It will plot this. Okay, and now based on this value, so what are the values through which the graph will be plotted? Okay, for example, this is the y output. Okay, one more column is there, output value. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so for value equal to 1 value is 1, for 2 value is 2, for 3 we have to find out, for 4 it is 4, for 5 it is 5, for 6 it is 6. Like this values are present. Okay, so it will plot a regression line over here, and now for y output equal to 3, we have to find the NaN value. So it will make the use of this line over here, this y equal to mx plus c, and it will find the value that is best suited. So we will get the 3 value over here. Okay, so regression line is plotted for all the values that is present in the data set, and now the value is plotted. Okay, yeah, every time a line is created in the memory, actually a line is not created, but for understanding. Okay, what is array yaar, in physics lab or chemistry lab you have not plotted lines like this. That is y equal to mx plus c. If you have 10 observations, you are plotting a line. Okay, so a pattern is being followed over here. Where do we get the output value? This y output will be given to you. Okay, this y output will be present with you. What if there are multiple NaN values? So once you have plotted this line over here, you have the line equation. So equation of this line is y equal to x. Okay, this is the equation of this line. Now if your y is, for example, 10 over here, if you have a NaN value for y equal to 10 over here, what will happen? 10 will be substituted over here and we will get x. So x equal to 10. So for multiple NaN values, this line will be used, and we can find like hundreds of values also. Okay, so now we will come back to the notebook, and you can see when we use the linear method over here.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for interruption, sir. How do we get to know that the data is actually forming a pattern? Only then we'll use the method, because otherwise, how will it give the result? If the data is random, like it is increasing, decreasing.
Yeah, so you are doing machine learning, and the best part of machine learning is that now you'll have to try everything. Okay,
Okay, sir.
this is the major drawback of machine learning. You don't know what will work, so you'll have to try each and everything. Now over here you can see that the value is being replaced. Oh, okay, if the value is forming the pattern, then it will be okay. If the value is not forming any pattern, then it will not work good. So in that case, you will have to assign it with mean or mode or fill or backfill. So you'll have to try each and everything. There are ways you will learn in for future that you will be able to derive to a lot of extent that which value will be useful. Okay, but now just understand how these methods work.
One more thing, sir. Pattern can be anything. Like it can also form a parabola.
Yeah, it can form a parabola. Yeah,
Okay.
sure. It can form a parabola. It can be like this also. It can form a sine function also. Okay, it can follow anything. But for if you want to fix some specific values, or for example, this was y equal to mx plus c, a linear method. Okay. Now, if you are plotting the graph and you are seeing that a sine function is being plotted in all the patterns, okay, so you will not want to use y equal to mx plus c or a linear line like this. You will not have any useful. You will use. So what you can do, that you will have to make your own function. You cannot use filna there. Okay, you cannot use filna over there. You will have to use another function of your own. You will have to make a custom function of your own, and then you will have to use that function to map the values over here, okay, to fill the values. So indirectly what you will have to do, you will have to make a machine learning model again just to fill the NaN values over here. Okay.
Sir, so the linear method is only for a line. Let's say y is equals to mx plus c for only that.
हाँ भाई, लीनियर लाइन का
The
वही
type
मतलब
of
होता
graph.
है. लीनियर तो वही ना हुआ भाई. y इक्वल टू mx प्लस c को तो लीनियर बोलते हैं. If we see the values and plot a graph accordingly and give the values, yeah, you'll have to do that only. See, you will learn about k nearest neighbors. K nearest neighbors. Okay. So what this will do, it takes the nearest values that are present around it. Okay, it takes the nearest. If this is the NaN value over here, wait. If this is your NaN value over here that you want to predict, and these are your values that are present around it. Okay, if they follow pattern or don't follow pattern, it is a convention that if a NaN value is present, around some data points, it will have a same behavior around them. Okay, so if the values over here are 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 3, 4, so this value over here will also be somewhat like this value over only. So k means what it will do, it will check k nearest neighbors around them. It will check for the k nearest neighbors that are in distance nearest. It will check for them, and it will take some mean or mode or median of all the values that you can specify. Okay. So there are many ways. There are hundreds of ways to fill the value.
Sir, then what is the command for this?
You will have to make a custom function. There is no command for it. Okay. This is known as k nearest means algorithm. This is a machine learning algorithm. Okay. You will have to make a command for it. Your own command. Regression term that will be taught afterwards when we will use machine learning. Okay. Regression means continuous values. If there are values like this, over here, and you fit a line like this, that is known as a regression line. Okay.
Sir, KNN and K means are both are different, no?
Yeah. Okay, so now everyone understood what is linear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now same you can do for the columns also. It is the same thing. Regression in columns will be fitted. Okay. Why it is doing an interpolation like this? Okay, so this is a question now over here that you can do on your own. Okay, so two data frames are complete, two parts of data frame is complete. Okay, now we'll go to the third part. Okay, now this is the notebook where actual use of pandas comes to use. Okay, whatever we learned till now was only understandable for the functions. Okay, now actual use of pandas will come. So over here, this is the google.csv. Okay, what is google.csv? Uh, if you go to the CSV file that we have been given, then google.csv is nothing but an Excel sheet. So when I am telling you from the start that CSV is nothing but an Excel sheet and pandas is nothing but an Excel sheet, this was what I meant. We can use all the values over here in an Excel sheet and we can import it in the pandas in the Python using pandas. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to work upon that data set. Okay, that is a Google stock data set. Okay, at what time each day Google stock prices open, close, high value, close value and volume. Okay, does everyone understand it?
Yes, sir.
So we will start with it. So we are import pandas as PD. Now to open the CSV file or Excel sheet, we will use the command pd.read CSV. So read CSV is the command that is used to read the CSV file. Inside this function, we'll write the location of the CSV file. Okay, so it was present over here only, so it is goo.csv. Okay, so now we are running it. You can see it is a pandas data frame and it has 3313 rows, 3313 rows and 7 columns. Okay, so for example, you can understand that these values are for 3300 days and these are for 7 columns. So let us now explore the data set. So when we see this, you can see this data set has 3313 values, so it is not even be printed properly over here. Only the first 5 values and the last 5 values are printed and the rest have been given as this dot dot lines. Okay, so you cannot print the whole data set over here. Okay, now the 7 columns here are date, open, high, low, close, adjacent close and volume. So if someone knows about stock markets, then it is okay. If you don't know, no need to understand, no problem, because what the data represents is none of your business. Okay, actually it is you need to know what is the problem, but even if you don't know, it is no problem. Okay, now see, this was a very big data set. Now if we want to see only the first 5 values, then we can use the head command. Okay, so what does head do? It prints the first 5 commands, 5 rows. Okay, now if you want to print the first 10 rows, you can write 10 inside this and it will print the first 10 rows. If you want to print 15 rows, you can write 15 over here. So the first 15 will be printed. Okay, so this is the use of head command. It will print the first 5 rows. Now if you want to print the last 5 rows, print 1000 rows. देख ले भाई क्या करेगा, नहीं प्रिंट होगा. हंड्रेड भी नहीं हो रहा है. 7 में एरर क्यों आएगा? See, 50 is being printed. Okay, 50 values have got printed. Now let us try for 75. The 75 is not being printed. Let us try 60. So 60 is being printed. The 75 not printed, 60 printed. So let us try 68. Okay, not printed. Let us try 65, not printed. Okay, so 62, not printed. 61, not printed. 60 printed. So it will print 60. Okay, 60 continuous values it will print. Okay, now for printing the last values we can use the tail command. So it will print the last 5 rows. Okay, similarly over here also you can print 60 and it will print you the 60 values. Okay, if you want you can print 2 values also, right, 2 over here. So 2 values will be printed. Okay, so now let us move on to isNull. So you have seen isNull command. So isNull will default is 5. Yeah, default is 5. IsNull command will check whether the values are present or not, if nan values are present or not. Dot any command, what it will do, it will find whether if there is any row in a column that has a nan value. Okay, so sum command used to give the sum of all the values, and any will give you just true and false, whether it is present or not present. Okay, if there is any value 1 or 100 also, then it will give true, any command will give true, and sum will give the number of values that are present, that are nan. Okay, so sum is a better option. You don't need to remember any. Sum is a better option. Okay, use sum instead of any. Yeah, it is checking column wise because more informative. Okay, now describe command. So what is the use of describe command? So when we were studying about nan command, numpy command, what we did, we had seen that we can find out the max, 75%, 50%, mean, min, standard deviation, count, all these values. Okay, by using different values. But when you are performing data analysis, you want that all the data should be given like using one command. Like one command gives you a lot of functionalities and lot of information. So that is the use of pandas. This is where the use of pandas comes here. And what it does is that using the describe command, it gives you a descriptive statistical analysis of your data set. So what is the meaning of all this? Let me tell you now. So it gives you 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 values simultaneously for all the rows, all the columns. Okay. So what is the meaning of count? Count is the number of not nan values in each column. So all of them has 3313 not nan values. Okay. What is the mean? Mean is the mean of that column, mean of all the columns. Okay, so mean of all the columns is given. Okay, now standard deviation is the standard deviation of all the column values in that column. Min is the minimum value of that column, high is the maximum value of that column. So what is 25%, 50% and 75%? So it is something known as interquartile range. Let me tell you. So when you have a column like 1, 2, 3, okay, not like this. If you have a row of values, okay, so min will be the minimum. If you have a row of values, a lot of values are there. min will be the minimum value, max will be the maximum value, one value will be the median. If you sort this all the values, you will get the first value will be a minimum. Are you understanding, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we sort all the values, minimum will be the minimum command, minimum value of the first value, max will be the max value, the middle value will be the median. Okay. So now, what is the median? When we tell median, what does the median do? It divides the whole data set or the whole column into two parts. So 50% this side and 50% this side. This is the meaning of median. Okay, you will get the medial value. So over here 50% represents median value. This is the median over here. What is it 25%? 25% just means that 25, it is a 25% mark, that 25% of values over here are below 2 to 6 over here. Okay, so minimum is standing over here and minimum is 25% is this much. Okay, since 75% is the 75% marks over here, parts over here. Okay. Array,
So sir, it is percentage between min and max, no?
it is percentage.
Percentage between minimum value and maximum value, isn't it?
The percentage is like 25% of values lie within this range. Okay, wait. So if you have 100 values, see if you have 100 values, minimum is 0 and maximum is 100. Okay, so when we write from 0 to 100, okay, so when we write 25% is 25, so what it means is that from 0 to 25% of values lie between 0 to 25. Okay, from all the values that are present over here in 100 values, 25% of values that are present over here inside that data set will lie between the minimum and 25% that is given. Okay, when we write 75%, that means from minimum to 75% value, 75% of values will lie between that parts. Okay, so over here what you can understand, that between 49 and this over here, 226 values are lying between the minimum and 25th part. Okay, and 58% means these many number of values lie between from minimum to the 50th percent or the median. So there are 293 values. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
This is known as
Yes, sir.
Sir, basically, 25% is the mean of the data between mean and
no. It is not the mean. It is
Sir,
the
isn't it mean like in between 49 and 226, there are 25% total values of data?
yeah. It is if you take the minimum over here and the median. Okay, so 25% is the median of this value, mean and median. 25% is the median of mean and median, all the values between mean and median. Okay, and 75% is the median of max and median. Okay, it is simple math. Yeah, it is right. It is known as lower quartile range and upper quartile range, if you remember. Shall we move forward with that now?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Now, if you want the description of a particular column, you can find out a description of a particular column like this. You can extract a particular row like this and then find out the description over here. Okay. So, same thing. Now you can also use these commands dot max, dot min, dot mean, and it will give you directly the values for each and every column. Okay. So max values of all the column, mean values of all the column are given. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now correlation. So understand this thing correctly, because this is the last part that we'll learn today, because Shape AI has not given me the data set of this new CSV file. I don't have this fake company.csv. So this is the last thing that we are learning today, and we will close the session. What is correlation? So correlation is the relationship one column holds with another column. Okay, what is the relationship between one column to another column? There are three types of correlation. Okay, so positive correlation, neutral or no correlation, and negative correlation. Okay, everyone understood till now? No problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the correlation
Yes,
that
sir.
we will get, the values of correlation that we will get, that will be between -1 to 1. Okay, so if the correlation is from 0 to 1, it means a positive correlation. Neutral correlation means 0, and negative correlation means -1 to 0. Okay, everyone understood till here?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Sir, we are including zero or not in negative?
अरे भाई न्यूट्रल यहाँ पर लिख दिए 0.
In negative बोल रहा हूँ मैं सर.
ये देखो यहाँ पे लिया हुआ है तो है. नेगेटिव 0 नेगेटिव थोड़ी ना होता है. पॉजिटिव में भी नहीं है ये 0, न्यूट्रल में भी नहीं है, नेगेटिव में भी नहीं है. नो और न्यूट्रल में आता है 0. ओके, this is not included. This bracket means not included. This bracket means included. Do you know this thing? This bracket means included. This bracket means not included. Okay.
Yes, sir. I know this thing, but first you are writing that curly circular
अबे यार लिखा
square
कहाँ
bracket.
है? रुको. Okay, fine. समझा करो यार कुछ चीजों को, तो नहीं चलेगा. Okay. Now what is the meaning of these three types of, what is the meaning of correlation, what is the meaning of positive, negative and negative correlation? Now let us take an example of for example lockdown. Okay, or you can say something like for example you all are students. Okay, now if you have an exam tomorrow and you are studying today, okay, what two lines? No, wait, I am telling you. For example, if you have an exam tomorrow and you have to give an exam tomorrow, and you will get marks for that exam. Okay, and today is the number of hours that you are studying. So can you say that the more number of hours you will study, the more number of marks you will get in tomorrow's exam? Say yes or no.
Yes, we can say that.
Yes.
Yes. So that means if we increase the number of values for hours, then the number of marks will also increase. So it holds some kind of a direct relationship. Okay, directly proportional to. Okay, hours directly proportional to marks. Okay, so when we say if we are increasing this thing, then this thing will also increase. So this holds a positive relationship. Okay, array may or may not may be a case. Okay, if you are just sitting with your laptop and you are not studying, that is not a thing. But ideal case, if you assume, then if you study for more hours, you will get more marks. Okay, so if you are increasing this, then the marks will also increase. So this holds a positive relationship. Okay, so increasing marks will increase your marks. So this will hold a positive relationship like this. Okay, now if you say that
Sir, lockdown and expenses.
यार लॉकडाउन का सोचे थे हम, लेकिन कुछ समझ में नहीं आया क्या एग्जांपल दें.
सर लॉकडाउन का ये एग्जांपल ले सकते हैं कि लॉकडाउन जितना बड़ा होता जाएगा उतनी अर्निंग घटती जाएगी लोगों की.
या ठीक है ना, स्टडी से समझो ना.
ओके.
न्यूट्रल में हुआ कि अच्छा नेगेटिव पहले बताते हैं. सो व्हाट इज नेगेटिव? सो फॉर एग्जांपल इट इज आइडियली सेड दैट बिफोर द नाइट ऑफ एग्जाम you should take a good sleep. So if you take 6 hours or 7 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep before night, then you will wake up fresh and you will be able to give good exams. Now if you don't sleep for 7 hours and if you sleep for 2 hours and then you go to the exam, you will be sleepy. So then your efficiency will decrease. So sleep is indirectly proportional to marks. So if you decrease your sleep,
Inversely.
Sir, it is directly proportional.
That is also directly proportional.
Yeah.
Wait, let me take another example.
Sir, we can take up social media and studies. We are using social media more than studies.
Correct. So more you use social media during your exam times, the less marks you will get. Okay, so it is holding a negative relationship like this. Okay, the more of social media, the less of marks. Okay, so it is holding a negative relationship. Now what is neutral relationship? Neutral relationship means that relationship does not affect. For example, if you like for example, if your friend does not study, then it is not affecting your marks. Or if you are studying with books, for example, there is a person in college who is studying with books and there is a person who is studying with PDF. Okay, so content in both of them is same. Okay, so it will not matter whether you are studying with book or you are studying with a PDF. So that will have a neutral coefficient. That means whatever you use to study, your marks will be constant or it will not affect. So these three are the meaning of positive, neutral and negative relationships. Okay, now has everyone understood what does this mean?
Yes, sir.
Now someone has told that the more we study, the more hours we study, the more marks we will get. That is, someone is telling may or may not. Now what we are saying that the positive correlation values are between 0 and 1. Now for example, if there is a person who studies effectively for 8 hours, for a lot of hours, then his marks will be good. So he will have a positive relationship that will tend near 1. Okay, if someone studies very nicely and very efficiently, then his positive correlation for studying and for marks will be near 1. That is, your range will be approximately near 0.8 to 1. If your range of positive correlation means is 0.8 to 1, that means it is a strong positive correlation. That means more marks, more study. Okay. Now, if there is a correlation between 0.2 to 0.8 like this, then means it is okay, not more, not less. Okay, take it 7. Okay, not more, not less. That means even if we after a, for example, if more hours we study, more marks we will get. So that does not hold very promptly. You can say that one of them was saying open book test mark correlation is neutral. That will depend upon data set, because in open book test also, if you need to know where your answer is, तुमको पता ही नहीं होगा आंसर कहाँ पर है तो खोजोगे कहाँ पर. ओके, तो so for 0.2 to 0.7, that means not a very strong relationship but a mild relationship. Okay, and 0.0 to 0.2, so that will mean that it is a very mild or negligible kind of positive relationship. Okay, so what, let me give you example. So if you study for a lot of hours and paper comes and tomorrow, and paper was quite easy, and so everyone scored marks. So for everyone scored marks, so that will be a positive relationship, high positive relationship. You studied well also, you got marks also. Okay, now if everyone studies for 10 hours but the paper was so tough tomorrow that no one gets good marks, so that will hold for that data set, it will hold a very mild relationship, that even if we did not study well, we studied well, that it will have, we did not get marks that good. So it will be positive, little bit positive, but it will be positive, it will not be negative, because more study, more marks. Okay, it will never happen the more you study, the less marks you will get. Okay, so you can understand like this, that how this values of the correlation are ranging, and what is the meaning of this range of values in correlation. So more value of correlation, or more it is towards 1, so it is strong relationship, or you can understand that that feature is important. Okay, let me tell you now from this. So you can see over here, when we plot the correlation, this CORR is the function that will directly give us the correlation matrix. Okay, so you can see, for example, you have this data set over here, and you have to predict the value of column. Now you can see low and high, low and low over here, low and high. So low and high have a correlation of 0.999, that is exactly near 1. So that means exactly near 1. So that means the more low value is today, the more high value it will be tomorrow. Okay, so low means the lowest value of a stock that was experienced during the day. Okay, and high value is the highest value. So the low value, the more low the value will go, the more high the value will go for that day, because relationship is 0.99. Now if you see for volume, now if the volume opens high, if the stock opens high, so what is the meaning of open? So the value open means the stock market opens at 9:15 in India. Okay, So if the value of the stock, if the value of stock, if the value of stock, for example, today is 24th, so value of stock that is 24th 03/21, it closed, it closed at, for example, 100 rupees. Okay, now on 25th this value opens at 120 rupees, 20 rupees high. So this is a lot of difference. It usually does not happen, but for example you can understand over here, if this opens at this value over here, so this is a very big jump. So the value of the stock that opened over here is very high and it is most likely to fall. Okay, if a value opens at this much high, at this much range, it usually goes down to again to somewhat 105, 104, 102. Okay, like this it will go. So the volume, what is the volume? The number of stocks traded at that point. Okay, so you can see as the open value is more high, the open value is, the more less the volume traded will be. Okay, why? Because more value, no one will want that he or she purchases or buys a stock at a high value. So if a value opens high, that means the volume traded will be less. So it is having a negative relationship. Okay, are you all understanding this, how it is working?
Yes.
So this is a very important thing. So you can see over here, if we have to predict the volume over here, then all the columns are important. Yeah, it depends upon demand and supply, but for the sake of understanding you have to do, because stock market also depends upon previous values. So if your stock is like this, if your stock is going like this is the channel value. So you can predict demand and supply works based upon history. Okay, so I'm not going to details of this technical analysis of stocks, but demand and supply also works. It is a temperament. Demand and supply is a temperament, not an actual value. Okay, so this is we are going to study only till now. This is only we are going to go till now today. Okay, so tomorrow we'll learn about these 3-4 commands, and when we'll get this data set. Okay, for now you can understand that pandas is complete, and next class if we get this if I get this CSV file, I will teach you. Otherwise we leave this part, it is not that important also. Okay, no, column values also there na. See, this column values are there na. I cannot replace with Google.
Sir, if we make a data frame with our own data, how can we save it in a CSV file or Excel file?
Okay, it is very simple. See, so this is a Google stock correlation matrix. Okay, for example, this is the Google stock. Google stock, STOCK. This is your data set. Now, if you want to save it to CSV, write to CSV and name is new Google stock. Okay, like this. So now you will see new Google stock data set has been created. Understood?
Sir, but when we open that file, it is not in the form of. Achha, yahan se jaake open.
When it is not in the form of?
It is like it is separated by commas and not in the form of Excel. मतलब Excel sheet पे नहीं खुलता है.
Excel is comma separated only, na? Okay, I'm sorry. New Google stock created like this. Wait. अरे यार. Dot CSV. Okay. So now you can see over here. You can go over here. New stock. So this is the stock. This is your values. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is the command by which you can save the. If you want to leave, you can leave. The class is over. Okay. This is the command for saving the data set.
Sir, can we also save it in the form of image or something?
Anything. There are more than hundreds of formats in which you can save in CSV format. Wait, I'm showing you. Okay. See, you can save it in the form of clipboard, in CSV, dictionary, Excel, Feather, GBQ, HDF, HTML, JSON, LaTeX, Markdown, NumPy, Paraquet. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
There are hundreds of ways in which you can save. See, you can save as SQL also. You can save as pickle file also. This is an important file, pickle file. Okay.
Okay,
You
sir.
can save as NumPy array also. You can save as Markdown. You can save as HTML also. You can save it any format. Okay. Shape has given me this writing pad. Okay. See, if you are getting indentation errors, then you'll have to practice a lot because you'll have to see how to solve those indentation errors. So for indentation error occurs when you don't give spaces properly. So after every for loop of if else, you'll have to give 4 spaces. Okay, 4 spaces are present over there. So this is a thing in which I cannot help. You'll have to practice it on your own. I too also used to have this kind of doubt. What next, sir? We'll learn matplotlib plotting. Okay. We'll see how to make beautiful data set. Best IDE for Python, this Jupyter Notebook only.
Sir, you said that in pandas also we can plot lines.
Yeah,
So
we can plot, but that is not that good. It is very limited. Okay. So the main libraries used for plotting are scikit-learn. You will learn afterwards. Main libraries for plotting are matplotlib and Seaborn. Okay. So we will see that. I will show you tomorrow. Okay.
okay, sir, that is a part of data analysis, like plotting.
Data visualization.
Yeah, data.
Analysis is different.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I am ending the class today. Though you can all leave.
Thank you, sir.